Human beings are wired to seek closure. We crave the satisfaction of a solved mystery, a balanced equation, and a finished puzzle. But there is a glitch in our cognitive wiring. We often reserve our deepest, most intense fascination for targets we can never actually catch. It is the classic white whale phenomenon. It is a psychological driver that pushes people to sacrifice their time, their money, and occasionally their sanity while chasing an elusive prize. Which raises a strange question. Why do we willingly dedicate parts of our lives to pursuits that are almost mathematically guaranteed to end in failure? Take Albert Einstein. For decades, he poured his intellect into an unsuccessful hunt for a unified field theory, a single framework to explain all the forces of nature. Or look at Jonathan Rosen, who spent years on a grueling quest through snake-infested swamps to find the ivory-billed woodpecker, a bird widely considered extinct. Then you have Charles Shackleton, a director who developed an intense fixation on uncovering the identity of the Zodiac Killer, despite 50 years of cold trails. And on a similar wavelength, there is a subculture of collectors hunting down authentic corporate swag from massive collapsed frauds like Enron in Theranos. From world-renowned physicists to anonymous internet users, these seekers all display the same pattern of meticulous tracking and an unyielding focus on the unattainable. Obsessions require a refusal to accept established dogmata and a willingness to ignore conventional adult boundaries. Einstein displayed schizotypical traits early in his life. He was famously dreamy, socially insensitive, and highly detached from his peers during his youth. Because he did not take the basic concepts of reality for granted, he was able to perceive space and time in novel ways. He saw connections the typical adult brain filters out. Entering the rabbit hole demands this exact type of separation. You have to step away from conventional reality to see your subject with a fresh, albeit distracted, vision. Once isolated from the mainstream, obsessive individuals inevitably gravitate toward one another. They form motley groups, complete with their own strict customs, language, and provenance rules. For extreme birders, this means trudging through murky, snake-infested Louisiana swamps, carrying out their search with a blend of Zen-like devotion and intense focus. This poster shows composite sketches of the Zodiac suspect. True crime obsessives fall into algorithmic rabbit holes, meticulously analyzing these drawings. This traps investigators in endless comparisons, weighing the thickness of a brow or angle of glasses, mining for a final identity that never materializes. These rituals provide a sense of progression. By standardizing the search, the obsessive creates a sequence of small, manageable tasks in a pursuit that lacks a definitive ending. Eventually, every hunt reaches a critical juncture, the realization that the target is permanently out of reach. This diagram illustrates the wall Einstein hit when he became the defender of an older, orderly physics. He could not reconcile his vision of a stable universe with the chaotic, unpredictable probability field brought on by quantum mechanics. The ivory-billed woodpecker seekers eventually walk out of the swamp empty-handed. Shackleton, the documentary director, lost the legal rights to film his Zodiac subject. At this point of failure, the original premise collapses, and the obsessive is forced to find a new way to justify the hunt. This reveal highlights the reality of the obsessive cycle. The literal target, the scientific theory, the mythical bird, the elusive killer, acts only as a MacGuffin. Instead of giving up, Shackleton used his failed investigation as raw material, pivoting to create a meta-documentary that explores the ethics and repetitive tropes of true crime genre itself. For swag collectors, a coffee mug from a fraudulent lab becomes a physical archive of corporate hubris, a reminder that some things are more important than professional gratification. And Rosen, walking out of the Louisiana swamp without his bird, recognized that the search was a method for processing personal loss, using a particular pursuit to understand the universal. Einstein's final years were defined by active mentorship. While he never found his unified theory, he continued scribbling equations, ensuring his creative fire never actually burned out. We extract value from the focus and the community built during the hunt, regardless of whether we ever reach the destination. We build our most complex ideas while reaching for what we cannot have. The path through the labyrinth matters more than finding the exit.